It's Tuesday, May 16th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with the latest local news, including a Reading resident dying after being attacked by her dog. Parents arrested following a Darien High School party and a hit and run in Milford. Frank Granito joins us later with a look at the forecast and a Nutmeg Sports update, and Donna Lang will take a look back on this day in history. But first, a Reading resident died at Danbury Hospital after being attacked by her own dog at a home on Deacon Abbott Street on Friday, May 12th. The dog is being held by Reading police and an investigation into the situation is underway. Police are withholding the name of the victim until all family members are notified. According to Reading Police Chief Doug Fuchs, the victim was in a Deacon Abbott home when she was attacked by her own dog. She suffered very serious injuries and was transported to Danbury Hospital, where she later died. Fuchs said the dog attack set off a series of events which led to the death of the resident, though the attack itself may not have been the exact cause of death. He said we're awaiting the autopsy to determine the final cause of death. Fuchs also noted this attack is not related to a dog which had been roaming the area of Deacon Abbott Road in recent months. You can check for updates on that story at thereadingpilot.com. And Milford police are looking for the public's help in identifying a motorist who struck a pedestrian Sunday afternoon on Cherry Street and then left the scene. Police said the accident happened at around 1:40 in the afternoon on Cherry Street near Gulf Street. A man walking on Cherry Street was hit by a dark-colored vehicle just east of Gulf Street, and then that car fled the scene. The pedestrian was transported to Yale New Haven Hospital for treatment of injuries, and the investigation remains ongoing. And in other news, Fairfield police are seeking two suspects they said robbed the Dunkin' Donuts at 3355 Post Road at gunpoint on Saturday. The two, a man and a woman, came into the store just before 7:30 at night. The woman went up to the counter and ordered a donut, and when the employee opened the cash drawer, the man pulled out what appeared to be a silver semi-automatic handgun and pointed it at the employee. He then jumped over the counter, grabbed the cash tray, and headed for the front door. A patron was seated in the shop, his cell phone and wallet on the table, and the man took those items and fled out the door. No car was seen, and an undetermined amount of cash was taken. The man is described as black, wearing a black jacket and a black neoprene-type mask. He was also carrying an umbrella. The woman, who was also described as black, was wearing a headband or bandana and a black jacket. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Fairfield Detective Division at 203-254-4840. And a pair of Darien parents were charged with permitting minors to illegally possess alcohol after police broke up an underage drinking party at their home on May 13th. Officers responded to a noise complaint on Silver Lakes Drive at about 1:15 in the morning. As they approached the home, they saw several people talking loudly in front of the home, while a few others, believed to be teenagers, ran away and into the woods. Because the home is near the Metro North train station, police contacted the MTA to halt all train traffic for a time. Several of the teens who fled into the woods were located, and train service then continued. At the scene, officers found empty beer cans on the garage floor and other alcohol containers in the room. Police then spoke with two adult residents, Paul and Anastasia Aravallo, who said that while they knew their children were having friends over for a party, they were unaware of the presence of alcohol. Both parents were home at the time of the party, and police said 6 Darien and New Canaan teens between 16 and 17 years old were visibly intoxicated when they arrived. As a result, those two adults were cited for permitting minors to possess alcohol. And in other news, Joel Barlow High School is back in session today following a total closure of the school, including the main office and guidance office, on Monday due to flooding in the wastewater treatment facility. Gina Pinn, head of school, provided an update on the closing on Monday afternoon. The other Easton and Reading schools were not affected. Pinn said the water pipes did not burst, although they are old. She said last week we had extensive repairs done to aging pipes. The catalyst prompting Monday's closing seemed to be air in the pipes that caused a series of cascading effects that resulted in flooding in the wastewater treatment facility. The wells worked fine but couldn't keep up with the demand for water. The water supply issue is now resolved, and the treatment facility will be back up and fully functioning by the end of the week, she said. You can get more on that story at eastoncourier.com. And a 38-year-old New Canaan resident told Darien police that the airbag had been removed from her car while she was parked in the Norotan Heights train station lot. She parked there at around 8:50 in the morning on May 7th and returned at noon to find that her driver's side lock had been tampered with and the airbag had been taken from the steering wheel. Police said the center console also appeared to have been rifled through. No other vehicles showed signs of tampering in that parking lot, and there was no video surveillance footage available for that portion of the lot. And after another 2 hours of talks and more divisiveness, the Stratford Town Council failed again to reach common ground on a proposed budget for the 2017-2018 fiscal year. A meeting that began at 8 p.m. on May 8th will continue until tonight as council members continue weighing what it will take to reach a compromise and hope that a councilman will be healthy enough to return. Now, before a packed town council chambers on Monday night, councilors were unable to pass an amendment to Mayor John Harkin's proposed $220 million spending plan. 5th District Councilman Greg Cann, a critic of Board of Education spending, tried to push his proposal amendment that would have made the town and school cuts. But Town Attorney Brian Leclerc said he could not pass a budget exactly like the plan turned down previously. 2nd District Councilman Scott Farrington Posner, who does not want to raise the mill rate from the current rate of 38.99 mills, said the Board of Ed can get what it wants if the council makes cuts on the municipal side. But there's a lot more on that story at StratfordStar.com. Switch gears, throw it over now to Frank Granito for a look at the forecast. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. And mostly sunny skies today, warmer out with an expected high of 75 this afternoon. Not as windy compared to yesterday, gusts only around 10 miles per hour, making for perfect weather as the HAN network heads to the Country Club of New Canaan for the Rams golf match against their rival Blue Wave later today. Clear skies again tonight with a warmer out with a low of 59 degrees as humidity levels are on the climb. Tomorrow, temperatures should reach into the low 80s, and it continues to get warmer during the second half of this week. Partly sunny skies, but there are some on and off periods of clouds expected later in the day. Mostly clear skies tomorrow night, a low of 64, and temperatures back on the rise again Thursday. Thermometers getting closer and closer to 90 degrees. Thursday brings on breezy conditions again, gusts around 25 miles per hour. Despite the wind though, Kate, we could be looking at the warmest day of the week. Temperatures in the mid to high 80s. Very humid out compared to what we have seen so far this spring. Mainly clear and warm Thursday night with a low of 65 before another gorgeous spring afternoon on Friday as the FCIAC playoffs get underway. Weather absolutely shining down perfectly now down the stretch of this week. Couldn't have come at a better time. Happy birthday, Jake Granito. Looking forward to seeing you later tonight.
Oh, all right. Thanks so much, Frank. Well, we're going to step out for a break. When we come back, Donald Lang will take a look back on this day in history. Frank has your Nutmeg Sports Update, and there's more news coming up after this.
Part of banking well is doing good. That's why, with the support of local community partners, Bankwell has launched the Bankwell Pet Adoption Project to boost awareness about the hundreds of animals in local shelters that need a home. And when you donate to the cause using the Bankwell self-service coin machines, we'll match your donation. For details, visit mybankwell.com/pleaseadoptme. Bank smart, bank local, bank well.
Spring has sprung at Walter Stewart's Market, and we're celebrating the new season with fresh takes on spring. From the finest produce around to guaranteed fresh seafood delivered daily by the best local supplier. Not only are we your time-saving one-stop shop for everything you need this season, our personable team is always ready with a helping hand. Shop Stewart's for the best of spring. Find us at 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
The new fishing season is fast approaching, so it's time to head over to the dock shop and get your gear in order. We're now offering bait in both Darien and our Westport location. The dock shop can service and repair your rods and reels, spool up new line, and fill any empty space you might have in your tackle box. Whether you're a fisherman, boater, or beach bum, the dock shop is a unique place to shop. The dock shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
Did you know heart attacks and strokes are the leading cause of death in America? Protect the health of you and your loved ones. Talk to a doctor about heart disease. Hi, I'm Dr. David Pazer with Pro Health Physicians, encouraging you to stay informed about health matters that affect you.
ProHealth Physicians is on the pulse of social media to share information about health and nutrition with the community. Get up-to-the-minute alerts, including ProHealth Physicians news and upcoming events. Connecticut's leading group of primary care doctors is just a click away.
At Budget Blinds, we're in business to frame the light, the day, and the night. So we give you an exclusive combination of high style, expert service, our no surprises pricing, and our no questions asked warranty. We believe that everyone, at every budget, deserves style and service. Isn't that a beautiful place to be?
I can't believe it.
Well, Dad, you did it. You sold 160 cars. Ready to go back upstairs now?
I think it's time. I wonder how the boys are making out in their new office. Not what I had in mind, Kyle. What, Dad?
Maybe we should retire. Right now, lease a 2017 Rogue S for only $139 a month. Isn't it time you got Millerized?
If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier network, and we've also reached more than 2 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Welcome back to this May 16th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and it's time to take a look back on this day in history with Donald Eng. Don.
Well, something we long suspected became official on this day back in the 1980s. First, though, we go to 1770. 14-year-old Marie Antoinette marries 15-year-old Louis Auguste, who later becomes the King of France, King Louis XVI. The marriage is, by all accounts, a pretty happy one. It produced 4 children until they were both guillotined in 1793. To 1843 we go. The first wagon train heads out for the Pacific Northwest along the Oregon Trail, carrying 1,000 pioneers from Elm Grove, Missouri. Between 1843 and the completion of the Transcontinental Railroad in 1869, nearly 400,000 more settlers would make the 2,100-mile overland journey. And contrary to what your Apple II taught you, very few of them actually died of dysentery. 1929, the first Academy Award presentations. The jazz singer, one of the first talkies, not allowed to compete for Best Picture because the Academy deemed it unfair to let movies with sound compete with silent films. The first Best Picture winner, and only silent film to ever win Best Picture, was a film called Wings, directed by William Wellman. The most expensive movie of its time with a budget of $2 million. Wings tells the story of 2 World War I pilots who fall in love with the same woman. Finally, now we go to 1988 for this.
Research scientists have been saying it for some time now. Smokers have suspected it for years. Smoking is addictive as any drug. That word comes from Surgeon General C. Everett Koop, who put his latest stamp of disapproval on the cigarette habit today.
If I had my way, I would say it is just as addictive as heroin or cocaine.
Koop says because nicotine is a drug, it should be regulated by the Federal Food and Drug Administration. His list of recommendations include no cigarettes in vending machines, no free samples, no sales to minors, and licensing cigarette sales like liquor.
That was Surgeon General C. Everett Koop, with by far the best medical uniform ever, declaring that nicotine is addictive similarly to heroin and cocaine. Now, the warning came in his annual report about the health consequences of smoking. Koop said he hoped the new focus on the addictive nature of tobacco would encourage anti-smoking efforts by federal, state, and local officials, and it did. In 1988, 31% of American adults smoked. In 2015, 12%. That is your look back in history for today, May 16th, and I'm Donald Eng.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, in other local news, New Canaan resident Michael Nowacki's quest to force the town to have a referendum on the 2017-2018 town budget, which was passed in early April, has come up short. Nowacki told the Advertiser on May 15th that he did not collect the 688 signatures from registered New Canaan voters that were required to force a town-wide vote on the budget, and the deadline was May 12th. He claimed that he obtained over 400 signatures in support of a budget budget referendum. Nowacki wrote in a statement that many expressed fear of retaliation if they signed the petition. He said raising awareness of alternatives to taxation resulted in hundreds who contacted me to sign the petition, he said, but their names will remain anonymous. All right, let's throw it back over to Frank Granito now for a Nutmeg Sports Update. Frank.
Thank you, Kate. And yesterday, the HAN Network was live at Governor's Park in Ridgefield for our game of the week between the Ridgefield Tigers and the New Canaan Rams. The Rams sitting at 11-3, the number 2 team in the conference. Ridgefield just a game behind, 10-4. Looking to make the jump up. It was a slow start for both teams as the pitchers struggled early on. Ultimately, the Tigers got the best of Mike Pelly, who only went an inning and 2/3 before surrendering 4 runs. New Canaan would cut the deficit to as little as 1 by the 5th inning, but it was a 6-run 5th inning fueled by 2 huge home runs off the bat of Tony Macchia and Quinn McDonald for the Tigers that broke this one open. Ridgefield would go on to win 11-5. Here are the highlights from Governor's Park yesterday. On a windy spring afternoon from Governor's Park in Ridgefield, this is the HAN Network's coverage of FCIAC baseball. The Ridgefield Tigers hosting the New Canaan Rams.
He's capable of doing some damage here on the mound.
Runner going, and this one is hit out to right field. Back is Ignatowicz. This one hits off the wall. As coming around to score and sliding in safely is Diamond. It is a double with an RBI, and the Rams lead 1-0. Bottom of the second. This one is poked out to right field. It's going to drop down in front of DeMeo. 1 run will score, and the rally is on.
Our team.
As the runner goes, Arnone's throw down to third. Berger wasn't covering. It got by him, and in for a run here is Thrasher. Zella on second, and a line drive base hit from Diamond. Bazzella's being waved around home. Coming up throwing is Thrasher, but the throw is cut off. And the runners hold. It's an RBI single for Diamond, and the lead now just 1. The Rams trail 5-4.
In the bottom of the 5th.
As the pitch is driven out to right field, way back, and it's going to one-hop the wall. It is gone! A 2-run home run, and the Tigers have blown it open in the 5th.
What a bomb by Tony Macchia.
Out comes to the dish. Swung on, and a fly ball to center field. Way back is Rampant. He's at the wall, and it is gone! Another 2-run shot, and it is 11-4 in favor of the Tigers.
What a bomb. Dead center field, Quinn McDonald.
Keep the Rams alive. Fly ball to center field. Retreating back is Thrasher. He plants under it and makes the catch, and that will do it. The 6th run, 5th inning proves to be the difference as Ridgefield rolls 11-5. Both the Rams and the Tigers have already clinched a playoff spot. Ridgefield now sits 3rd in the conference behind only Staples and the regular season champion West Hill. New Canaan is at 4th. One of the bigger games yesterday was Wilton traveling to Danbury. Noah Meeks for the Hatters hurled a complete game 3-hit shutout, leading Danbury to a 1-0 win over the Warriors. But there was some controversy in this one. Wilton threatened in the top of the 7th as a single by Jack Dooley and a walk by Kyle Phillips put on 2 runners, with Cole Judelson coming up to bat. Judelson would deliver a single to load the bases with 1 out. We take a look now at that moment from the game. So there you see the Warriors now top of the 7th, bases loaded, 1 out, or so they thought. The umpires, after a brief discussion with the coaches, though, would rule that Judelson had batted out of order and was out, moving the runners back to 1st and 2nd with 2 outs in the game. Judelson, in fact, though, had batted in order all game, but the Wilton lineup card had the wrong number penciled in. Wilton High School head coach Tim Egan was not very happy with that call, and after unsuccessfully arguing against the decision, stated that the Warriors were playing this game under protest. Here's a look at the reaction from Coach Egan yesterday afternoon.
So he didn't bat out of
Special thanks to the Wilton Bulletin's J.B. Cousins for that video. You can also find more on this story on the WiltonBulletin.com. That'll do it for this Nutmeg Sports Update. Don't forget, this afternoon, 2:45 from the Country Club of New Canaan, we have a very special Nutmeg Sports for you, along with live coverage of the opening shots in the Rams and Blue Waves golf match, which will air later this week on Thursday. Let's go back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Well, in other news, several groups gathered Friday on Prospect Street in Milford to unveil a historic marker at the site where Milford founder Peter Pruden once lived. There had been a marker on a stone in front of the property, but it disappeared in recent months. The unveiling of the new historic marker took place on the front lawn of the Daughters of the American Revolution property. That parcel, along with the house and land next door, were part of the lot once owned by Peter Pruden. That marker reads, on this site was the original home lot of the Reverend Peter Pruden, leader of the Hertfordshire group that founded Milford in 1639 and the first pastor of the First United Church of Christ. His group left London, England in the spring of 1637 and landed in Boston. The following year, they accompanied the Davenport Eaton group to the mouth of the Quinnipiac River and founded New Haven. And Sunset Hall, the 1912 mansion on Old West Mountain Road in Ridgefield, where magician Harry Houdini visited, actor Robert Vaughn lived, and most recently, a plan for a rehabilitation facility was withdrawn after furious neighborhood opposition, will be sold this Friday, May 19th, at an auction. Sunset Hall, with its marble floor ballroom, 10 bedrooms, and views of the New York skyline on 7 acres with a guest house, heated pool, and tennis courts, has been on the market for $4.75 million. An auction brings together a number of buyers, and the format manufactures some pressure to bid. Realtor Laura Freed Ancona said there's not that many buyers typically for a property like this, so there's not that much pressure. She said an auction is a way to expedite the process and create a lot of enthusiasm and excitement, and hopefully get a good end result of a sale of a high-end property. The auction is scheduled for this Friday, May 19th, and while there's no minimum reserve bid, people interested in attending are asked to demonstrate their seriousness by putting up a $100,000 registration fee, which will, in the end, be returned to them. That auction is being conducted by Platinum Luxury Auctions, and you can get more at theridgefieldpress.com. We're going to step out for a break, and when we come back, recap some of the top stories we're following today after this.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Sign-ups are now open for one of our most popular programs, the New England 80 Elite Lacrosse Division I and Division III showcases. With D1 and D3 coaches in attendance, players will receive a 60-minute webinar with Director of Recruiting Hans Hansen, a custom NE80 penny, custom shorts, and a video of all games. Last year's event sold out quickly, so sign up now for the next showcase coming in January 2018. Like and follow us on Facebook.
When it comes to considering the outside of your home, just imagine the possibilities. Whether your dream is a stunning freeform pool or a tranquil, secluded garden, the team of professionals at Stonebridge Associates will make it a reality. We offer unparalleled landscape design and construction, masonry development, pools, spas, and water features, as well as landscape and garden maintenance. No other firm can offer the same level of creativity, quality, and personal attention. Discover the possibilities at stonebridgeassociates.net or call 203-544-8376 today.
At the Milford Bank, we offer an extensive selection of lending products and services to meet virtually any need. Submit your application online in our Mortgage Web Center. Start to finish, you can apply for a loan in as little as 10 minutes. Our knowledgeable and helpful staff are available to meet with you at your convenience. To learn more about what we can do for you, stop by one of our Milford Bank offices or visit us at milfordbank.com. The Milford Bank, always there. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
On time, done right, safe and reliable. MrHandymanCT.com.
Let our satisfied customers tell it.
I have called Mr. Handyman for every reason, every occasion, every broken item, every leak. They have bailed me out on many occasions, and I would recommend them to anyone.
For any project, large or small.
MrHandymanCT.com.
Pizza to satisfy even the most demanding critics. Tuesday Pazza Pizza.
Welcome back to this Tuesday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today. A Reading resident died at Danbury Hospital after being attacked by her own dog at a home on Deacon Abbott Street on Friday, May 12th. That dog is being held by the Reading police, and an investigation into the situation is underway. Police are withholding the name of the victim until all family members can be reached. According to Reading Police Chief Doug Fuchs, the victim was in a Deacon Abbott home when she was attacked by her dog. She suffered very serious injuries and was transported to Danbury Hospital, where she later died. Fuchs said the dog attack set off a series of events which led to the death of the resident, though the attack itself may not have been the exact cause of death. He said, "We're awaiting the autopsy to determine the final cause." Fuchs also noted this attack is not related to a dog which had been roaming the area of Deacon Abbott Road in recent months. You can look for updates at thereadingpilot.com. And Milford police are looking for the public's help in identifying a motorist who struck a pedestrian Sunday afternoon on Cherry Street and then left the scene. Police said the accident happened at about 1:40 in the afternoon on Cherry Street near Gulf Street. A man was walking on Cherry Street and was hit by a dark-colored vehicle just east of Gulf Street, and then that vehicle fled the scene. The pedestrian was transported to Yale New Haven Hospital for treatment of his injuries, and that investigation remains ongoing. And Fairfield police are seeking two suspects they said robbed the Dunkin' Donuts at 3355 Post Road at gunpoint on Saturday. The two, a man and a woman, came into the store just before 7:30 p.m. The woman went to the counter and ordered a donut, and when the employee opened the cash drawer, the man pulled out what appeared to be a silver semi-automatic handgun and pointed it at the employee. He then jumped over the counter, grabbed the cash tray, and headed for the front door. A patron seated at the shop with his cell phone and wallet on the table also had his belongings grabbed by that man, who fled out the door. No car was seen, and an undetermined amount of cash was taken. The man is described as black, wearing a black jacket and a black neoprene-type mask. He was also carrying an umbrella. The woman, who was also described as black, was wearing a headband or bandana and a black jacket. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Fairfield Detective Division at 203-254-4840. And a pair of Darien parents were charged with permitting minors to illegally possess alcohol after police broke up an underage drinking party at their home on May 13th. Officers responded to a noise complaint on Silver Lakes Drive at about 1:15 in the morning. As they approached the home, they saw several people talking loudly in front of the home, while a few others, believed to be teenagers, ran away and into the woods. Because the home is near the Metro North train station, police contacted the MTA to halt all train traffic for a time. Several of the teens who fled into the woods were located, and train service was then continued. At the scene, officers say they found empty beer cans on the garage floor and other alcohol containers in the room. Police then spoke with two adult residents, Paul and Anastasia Aravallo, who said that while they knew their child were having friends over for the party, they were unaware of the presence of alcohol. You can get more on that story at DarienTimes.com. But let's get one final look at the forecast. It seems to be all good news with Frank Granito.
It really is today, Kate. We're looking at mostly sunny skies, warmer out, a high of 75 this afternoon. Not as windy as yesterday, gusts only around 10 miles per hour. We're going to have ideal weather for the golf match coming up later on today. Clear skies again tonight, a warm of low of 59, and humidity levels are on the climb one more time. Tomorrow, temperatures should reach into the low 80s as it continues to get warmer the second half of this week. Partly sunny skies tomorrow. There's some on and off periods of clouds expected for the afternoon. A low of 64 tomorrow night with mostly clear skies before Thursday morning. And Thursday, those breezy conditions are back. It's a little windier, gusts around 25 miles per hour, but it's going to be the warmest day of the week. Temperatures in the mid to high 80s. Very humid compared to what we've seen so far this spring. And we're going to have plenty more of it coming our way on Friday when the FCIAC playoffs begin. That's going to do it for the weather. Let's go back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. We're going to wrap things up here. The Drive with Denise coming up at 12:30. Special Nutmeg Sports at 2:45. Yes?
That's right. We are going to be at the Country Club of New Canaan. We have got golf between New Canaan and Darien coming up this afternoon. We'll have the live shots for their opening tee shots, and then we'll bring a broadcast for you on Thursday afternoon.
All right, very cool. And we will see you tomorrow for your coffee break at 11. Enjoy the day.